It's fine. Just whatever.
I need
Just do
the
it.
URL.
Oh, well, it's there. It's out there.
Oh my gosh! All right,
Oh
hold
my
on.
gosh. All right.
Gotta go to YouTube.
I am recording. I am streaming. I am urinate. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, I
I'm
got
making
it.
the jokes.
Got this thing. You got the laughs. Whoops! I hit pause.
Oh, dude, that was so good that you just chimed in with that laugh track.
All right, let's see.
Hold on, I gotta get my right hue. There we go. I look too white with the white light. Like white pasty.
I'm very jaundiced over here for some reason.
I need my little like glowworm.
I think if I turn on one of the lights in the background, it somehow flicks the white balance on so that the overall picture is more realistic, I guess. But I'm kind of liking the weird piss filter that
It's nice. Just blame it on the wildfires.
yeah.
Is this the first time Hades has come out on the PlayStation and stuff?
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh, we should talk about it.
It's been in like early access. I mean, Legrand's talked about it a little. I've played some. I played a couple.
I've played quite a bit of it. It's really good.
Around.
We should talk about it in the show where we have a. I don't know what.
Yeah, put your thing in the outline. What are you gonna? You did something this week.
At some point, I'll play it, and then
I started to, and I like it.
What else did I play? I played something else, I'm sure.
Let's see.
Yeah, I finished Battle Sector, and that was literally it. That was all I really had time for.
Let's see.
But that was a cool game.
Oh man, I've got to redo that whole tweet now. All right, hold on.
You know what? I'm going to talk what I just typed because it's got big news coming up. Ooh, exclusive here on the Game Bytes show. Oh, I was going to do a thing. YouTube. When I forget my laptop upstairs.
All right. It has been tweeted.
Gross.
It has been retweeted. All right. Well, I reckon we can get started unless you guys have any objections.
Nah, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right. Let me just pop this out.
It's a show on the road.
Oh, yeah. All right. Time to do the thing. Let's go ahead and clap it in. 3, 2, 1.
All right.
I didn't actually hear either of you guys. So
I didn't either. All I heard was myself.
So perfectly synchronized.
Dude, that's what I'm thinking happened. This is the greatest moment of our life.
I don't think so. I think so. This bodes ill, my friends.
No, we're
good.
No,
it's good. The energy's good. The stars are aligned. The mood is right.
The mood is right. We're on a splash screen because I was like doing stuff, but there we are.
All right.
Okay.
We're each 1/3 bigger than usual.
We're blowing up.
I don't think so. I think I'm just shifted.
A little bit.
Oh, I guess it depends on your window orientation. I have mine snapped to the left, and then we are in a triple stack.
I do full screen so that it fills the screen for the stream.
Makes sense. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Game Bytes Show podcast. I am your host, Jeremy Lamont, Jeremy Lawman Lamont, standing in for Legrand Jolly. I'm joined by the regular crew, except for Legrand. Dale County Jones, how you doing there, Dale?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, your kidneys working okay over there? It seems like something's maybe.
Yeah, I've done this new thing where I exfiltrate the kidney processing to the atmosphere around me.
Wow,
so,
that's great.
So you know, cool. Other than the weird light that it casts on things, it's working pretty well.
Oh, good. It looks good. It smells good. Real good. Jared Red Eye Dunn, how are you doing there, my friend?
Hey, I'm here, and I'm just here. That's it. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I kind of got this dark brute look. Let's go full. Ooh,
I do. I like
guys.
that. I like dark Jared.
How's it
He's
go-
come,
how's it going,
Presented for
Internet?
the approval of the Midnight Society.
he's come from the
Oh,
darkest timeline.
Remember, hey Google, turn off the portcullis.
Still bad. You know, I was trying to figure out, does it play a sound effect or does it just turn the light off?
It like didn't hear me. It was like I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know what? Mine have been
No.
getting stupider. I don't like to rely on them at all.
Google is bedding down with a farm girl or something.
Yeah.
Didn't hear.
They
Turn off the portcullis.
they're releasing a like some new standard for that. So I'm hopeful for our our utopia of
Turn off the
home automation.
portcullis.
It ain't
Standards are great.
gonna do it.
Everybody follows standards, and there's never really any issues with them.
And then makes up a new standard, and
That's right.
suddenly there's another standard.
Ooh.
All right, that's too dark. It's too this timeline got way too dark.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Oh
All right,
man,
he's back.
It's awful.
He's back on the AM late night.
Over at my house this week, I tell you
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
it is Christmas in August. 'Cause
Dude,
I found a good
that
deal.
is so gross what you posted in
Yeah.
Discord.
I found a good
That's wrong.
deal on
Twitter
an
or
open box
whatever.
Christmas tree. No, it was on Discord. Well, I posted it everywhere. I was pretty pleased with myself. And you know what? And
Disgusting.
I fully listened to Christmas music for like a couple hours. I was feeling it.
How can you stand it?
It's not bad. Like, especially when other people around you can't stand it, it makes it a lot more tolerable. There's something about it.
Joyeux Schadenfreude.
But
Yeah,
it's only okay if you listen to like the new Christmas music, like the Mariah Carey crap, because
Dude,
it's so bad.
And listen, I got news for you. That Mariah Carey crap is like 20 years old now, so it's
Whatever, dude. It's newer than Bing Crosby, man.
Bing is cool again, though. We like Bing. I like Bing.
I have a Bing record.
Do you? That's cool. I have Julio Iglesias. I have a coworker who just wanted this old turntable out of her house. He wasn't using it. It was like
And it
some
had that
spider
record
nest
on
in
it.
Yeah, actually, and she's like, here's a bunch of stuff that my mom had too, and it was like Julio Iglesias, something in French, like some kind of like twee French pop,
Awesome.
something like that. And
Listen to that. My brother-in-law's
I did.
French.
I actually cleaned them all up and listened to them, and
I was dumpster diving once. That's a weird way to say it. That's kind of what it is, right? When you go to like a used record
I've been
store.
there.
Oh my gosh. The Amber Alert's terrible. So terrible, guys. Keep your kids safe. But I was going through like used records at a resale shop, and I found a vinyl record from like the 70s of the high school band from where I went to high school.
Wow. That's
I bought
pretty
it.
great.
Who presses
listened to it once. It was real
record of their
scratch.
high school band?
Well, how weird is that, right?
It used to be, I think it used to be when it was a lot more common. It was like it was the equivalent, the vinyl equivalent of your
mixtape.
local access cable. Yeah, or like whatever. Like it was like, oh man, check out my here's my vinyl, man. Why don't you give it a spin? Yeah, well, so it's the week of potpourri for us here at the Game Bytes Show podcast, but we try and keep it a little bit consistent. We try and make ourselves a video game podcast, and I think this week we will have succeeded by the time we're done here. And guys, I think we're gonna get started, and I think we're gonna get started with the video games that we have been playing this week. And I reckon we better just get Jared out of the way here. Jared's got some tales of valor to regale us with.
So let me start with a quick one. I've been playing a little bit of Guild Wars 2 with the kids.
Great, I approve.
Yeah, so it's just a fun time. That's a fun game to jump into, and you can just like jump around and play with each other and stop. And like it's so easy to get into doing something in that game. So that's been a lot of fun.
I think there is something that is latently instructive when you play games like that with your children. Like, teach them a little bit of, teach them how to harvest rat tails.
That's right. Well, and what's really funny is it's my middle kid who is turned 11 this week. It's kind of weird.
Oh, happy birthday!
But so we had to cancel. Well, I mean, have to. We were like responsible human beings in the middle of like the 15th wave of a pandemic. So we canceled like doing all their birthday stuff and everything.
Mhm.
Because we actually have two with birthdays in the same week. But so like the younger kid, I was like, hey, what do you want to do for your birthday? Like, we can't go anywhere, but what else do you want to do? Like, go sit out in the heat. He's like, let's play Guild Wars 2. I'm like, let's do it. I also think I don't have say something, Jeremy.
Something Jeremy.
Oh, okay, good,
Nope.
good. I thought I had the audio stuff on YouTube.
No, you're good. I'm wrapped.
Oh man. So anyway, so he's like, I want to play some Guild Wars 2, but it's really noteworthy, mostly noteworthy because it's just like a year and a half ago, when we would play, if he was doing like a quest or something, trying to unlock something or do an achievement, and like, man, it was like, oh, show me how. How do I do this? Tell me how to do this. Can you help me with this? And now he's like, oh, Dad, I got like 5 out of the 6 Warclaw things. I'm like,
What do you say? It's kind of like watching a movie with your parents or something, except they don't get better at it. It's like, what is he doing?
yeah.
Why? What's
But
going on now? Why did she do that?
that's always a fun time. And that game, there's a few things in there that are kind of long and drawn out, like really kind of long achievements to go get, like to get certain mounts and stuff. So it's kind of fun.
Some persistence.
Jumping in.
I tell you, I have not been able to get my children interested in any good video games.
Yeah.
I've tried to, but I think I finally have to let them be their own
What
people.
about Roblox?
Oh yeah, the good games. No, it happens occasionally, but like when I want to sit down and I'm like, let me teach you some good, like this is the stuff of good character to play, Final Fantasy VII or something like that.
Illusion of Gaia.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like especially something that's like a little technically janky. Like I think everybody should suffer
Blaster
through something.
Master.
Oh, Blaster Master's so good.
My kids have been playing quite a bit of Breath of the Wild, which is actually
Really?
kind of funny because it's my game, but that I've never really played yet. I need to get into it at some point, but
yeah, I kind of fell off of that.
I got it for Christmas, and I just like haven't. I don't know. I'm like on the tutorial still.
You know what? It's Genshin Impact now. That's what you want to go.
No, we're moving.
Okay.
Yes, do it.
Okay.
Teach your children
Okay.
Genshin Impact.
Well, they already played that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of
I'm
course
so
they
sorry.
do. It's all
I
this
was-
free stuff they play, man.
I
Try
was
to get them into
joking.
good games, and you're over here Genshin Impact, like ruining them.
It's gonna have
Now they're
Aloy.
Now they're gonna install Roblox. Here, kids, let me show you Dawn of War 2. The other game I've been playing, which I know will come as a surprise to everyone,
Is it the ultimate online game?
is UO Outlands.
Ultimate Online.
Forever. Not forever. That's a different server. UO Outlands.
It's
So
just-
UO Outlands is a free-to-play shard that's been out. It's their 3rd anniversary coming up. And they're releasing an expansion. Boom. September 4th. Like it's like a whole new landmass, doubles the amount of like player housing space.
And this
new
is
dungeons.
completely a third party, right?
Yeah,
So they're
totally.
deploying their
Mhm.
own expansion content.
Yeah, so they have completely rebuilt the world. So you're used to seeing the typical Britannia, which kind of changes from game to game, but overall is the Africa looking continent or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, they've completely redone it. Like all the towns are leveled. They did their own towns. There's a few throwbacks here and there to some of the other towns, but like they're like ruins or something. But for the most part, they've completely rebuilt the game. They completely changed like all the interface stuff, all the skills. Like it's crazy how much work they've done. So yeah, they're releasing a whole new expansion with like a new dungeon, new cities. They have this whole system to try to balance the housing economy because it's kind of nutty right now. Like you can buy a deed for a house at $500K, but to actually place it, all the spots are taken. So to actually buy it out in the world probably costs like $4 million or something, right? Like the prices are just through the roof. So they have like this lottery system they're doing. So like 75 people a day will win the ability to place a small house in the new area. And so it kind of levels it out, right? So you buy into this
75
lottery.
people a day? I was imagining there were like 75 people on this whole thing.
No, they're consistently on average, I think their player load is like 18 to 2,500. And then,
Wow.
but the amount of accounts they have is quite a bit north of that. Like, I think they were saying like 50K or something. Like it's insane.
Wow.
But that's not active, and you can have up to 3. So like,
So
yeah,
Right.
who is leading the development on all this stuff? And are they being paid for it? Because it seems like a
I
lot of work.
I don't know. I think it's a lot of volunteer work, a lot of labor of love. It does have like a development team. Like they just redeployed to new servers recently to help with some lag issues they're having. And that actually helped a ton. But they've got like a scripting coding guy, they've got like a lead admin, they've got some artists. So it's kind of a team. It's kind of like I kind of picture it as like a mod team. Some of those mod teams can get kind of big, but I don't really know because some of these guys are spending a lot of time on this. So it's a curious question. I'd be curious to kind of understand how that works. But yeah, it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. So I've been having a great time playing it. Like I said, I'm now a captain, a senior officer in the Knights Guild. So y'all come join us, and we'll get you in and get you wearing some full plate. We just came out with a new event. Every Monday is Metal Mondays. So queue up your metal playlist, put on full plate armor, and just yell huzzah and kill stuff. That's it. That's the whole event. Like just wear plate mail armor.
So it's an RP event.
Yeah, this is what this whole
Sounds
guild
fun.
is. Yeah, so it's just super silly.
Nice.
But yeah, we're doing some fun stuff and just having a good time. We just did a boss run just before the podcast. So I don't know. It's silly. It's kind of funny. Ultima, for some reason, Ultima Online has for me always felt like it harbored the best opportunity or like encouragement to kind of role play. And I don't know if it's because it's like so simple in its like presentation that it's like you kind of have to fill it in
Like you
on
want to,
yourself.
yeah, use your imagination a little bit.
Yeah, but
Also, I
like
think the perspective too, like
yeah,
being
like
pulled
top
back so
down.
high,
Yeah, being
like
top
almost like a
down.
tabletop.
Yeah. You know what? There might be a lot to that, right? Because if you play, like when I play like a game like Guild Wars or any of
Everything is
those, like
really in.
you just
It's like
get into the action and you just go, 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 go.
yeah.
You don't like think about what you're doing. You probably don't even read the quests. Like, it's just a different way of playing. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. So
Right.
I've actually been playing it quite a bit.
I believe you. Something inside me tells me that I should trust you on this point.
Yeah. So been having a good time with that. But
Good.
it's a good time. UOoutlets.com. Come check it out with us, guys. It's free.
Good. Dale, what is going on in the jaundiced Jones household this week?
Yeah, well, we are under like DEF CON conditions here because I was just wrapping up the war against the Tyranids on Baal Secundus. So
Oh my gosh.
in other words, I finished the game Battle Sector, and I had a really good time with it. And the reason I'm bringing it up for like a third week in the row is just because that was all I really had time for playing was enough to finish those last few missions of that.
So is there content past the campaign then, or is it you're
There's like a
basically done with it?
skirmish mode, so you can set up both like skirmish games against the AI, or you can do multiplayer online. I don't know if anybody's doing that. I didn't try. I wasn't really all that interested in trying that online. I mean, it could be fun, maybe, but the one issue I have with the game is that it's fairly slow paced. Like when you move like a unit from one square to the next, like the animations are a little bit slow, and it doesn't seem to like queuing up very many actions like in series. It like kind of seems like it wants to kind of do things um before it moves on to
Very
a lot of other stuff.
methodically.
Yeah, sort of. And where that would I would repeatedly run into that was like I would basically queue up several moves that I wanted to happen, and then I wanted to be able to hit the end turn button so it would swap over and play out the AI turn. But it seemed to always want to like finish the last animation that it was doing before it would actually end the turn.
Mm.
And I don't really see why, because this is it's obvious it's a top-down game and you're viewing
Yeah.
everything from a distance, right? It doesn't. Yeah. You can zoom in and get like cool 3D models and like get down to like ground level and spin the camera around. There's like a photo mode and all this stuff. And it looks good if you do that, but like most of the time you're playing like really, really zoomed out, right?
Right.
So anyway,
So this is another one of those, if I remember correctly, there have been a few where you've said, oh, this really replicates the tabletop experience. I think this was one of those, right?
yeah, this one it does a pretty fair job of it. Yeah, it's you're not playing the same game exactly as on tabletop, but you you have a lot of the same units and they have a lot of the same properties and a lot of the same approximation of like a rock paper scissors sort of thing. Like this
Right.
unit is good against a swarm and not so
And you
good
would
against
already be
a
familiar
tank.
with that, so it's familiar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because the one thing that I found is that all these games that are based on Warhammer, I guess Games Workshop like really holds them to like towing the line, like upholding, what
The continuity of the game.
Yeah, they're
well
real
the
strict about it. Like even the Total War games, they're very strict about what mods people can create. Not like very strict, but like that you're not allowed to create Age of Sigmar stuff or Warhammer 40K. Like it has to be relevant to that specific IP.
Yeah, I think that they're definitely sticklers for that stuff, but also just to the degree of like there's definitely a real consistency from game to game to game to game to game because you can play like 10 of these games in a row, and if you see something that's called a Space Marine Assault Squad, you can pretty much guarantee you can take it to the bank that it's going to do the same thing in each game, and that's going to
Hmm.
be jetpacks and chain swords, and they're going to mostly be about melee, right?
Yeah. So
And
then I guess I guess I'm looking for sort of your final kind of thought on that. Like, is this franchise moving in the right direction? I mean, I sense that there's some things that are
well,
maybe a
this
little less
is
satisfying about it, but
this is I mean, this is the first game in the I don't know if they're going to make it a franchise, but it's a new game. It's published by Slytherin, who do like quite a lot of these like turn-based tactical slash strategy war game sorts of stuff. As far as I know, it's a new developer. They're called Black Lab, as in like lab like science.
oh,
Um,
because they like the dog.
yeah, not the dog, the science.
Maybe
It's
it's a
spelled the
science
same.
dog.
It could
It
be a
could be.
science dog.
Could be. But I thought it was really good. I thought it was pretty well done. I would say, I mean, there are some technical issues. Like I said, there's also like some performance and slowdown sorts of stuff that should probably be cleaned up in time.
Yeah.
But I would say it's a solid 7 out of 10.
I mean,
And then
it
if
seems
you're
really ripe for like DLC of different
oh yeah.
races, expansion.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
like it looks set up for that, right? Like,
Absolutely. Yeah, I think
yeah,
so. What they have here is a pretty solid start. It's 20 missions in the campaign. Once you get to about mission 10 or 11, you start to have another faction that you're playing with. So you're normally controlling the Blood Angels, Space Marines, and then about halfway or so in, you start to have control over a few units of the Sisters of Battle, and there's only three-ish units of them that you get, so it's kind of like the beginnings of like a faction. Like I could definitely see them expanding that out into the full size faction that you would then be able to take and play skirmish games with and stuff. And then I could also see them adding a couple of campaigns where I think I mentioned that like demons might be a possibility. Maybe they do like a Sisters of Battle versus demons sort of thing or something. I could definitely see like the hooks are definitely there.
yeah.
Mhm.
It looks really cool. I probably won't play it, but
It does look really cool. It's got a really great look to it, and it's fun. It's pretty solid, I would say. I'll be interested to hear what else is going to come from this team on this game. They did put up one of those like slides where it's like the 2022 roadmap,
Right,
yeah,
like
and there's
what
a bunch of
every
stuff
mhm.
listed on there. So
yeah.
yeah, if you're at all interested in I mean, there's no shortage of turn-based tactical slash strategy games on the PC. But if that's your thing, or 40K is your thing, check it out. Battle
There you
Sector.
go. Very nice. Well, guys, this week I've been playing something that is new-ish. I think it came out in September of last year, so we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of a game called Phasmophobia, which I think is one of those that is
I
kind
feel
of
like
like
you just made up a word.
I know. I get
Wait,
it.
I'm a scared of phasmos.
Phasmos which I think I'm pretty sure it wasn't Phasmo. No, it was Phanto, the mask in Super Mario Brothers 2 that would like
Oh,
chase you around when
the
you.
character from the new Star Wars trilogy,
Oh yeah, the
Captain
lady in
Captain
the armor.
Phasma.
That's right.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm scared of her.
or also Phantasmagoria, the
I'm
Roberta
not scared of
Williams live action adventure game with horror elements. No, this is something totally different. So this game is a first person. I understand that it can be played in VR. And I suspect that it's one of those that you can do with some of the VR like real hand movement controllers, because when I'm playing on PC right now with a controller, like the hands are like glued to the side like a dunking bird. So whenever I go anywhere and like look down at something, the hands kind of spring up the other way. But the game is one of I'm trying to think of what to compare this to, because in some ways it reminds me of stuff like Among Us a little bit, or a game where you have a sort of a set framework for a game, and it doesn't hurt if you as the player understand the meta of the game, because you are going in to try and kind of observe characteristics of gameplay to make some connections that, or something like Werewolves Within or something like that, where one person is the werewolf, and like you kind of just know what questions to ask, or kind of like using logic, but then there's also a gameplay element to it. The way the game works is that you take on the role of not really ghost hunters, but rather something more like ghost detectives. So like these are the guys that you would send in ahead of the Ghostbusters to find out what is it that we're dealing with, so that they bring the right equipment to capture that ghost. So there's no ghost catching in this in any sense. But the way the game works is you and there's also sort of like a Counter-Strike element to it, because you're basically playing successive missions, and then you accumulate money based on how well you do to buy new stuff until you lose it, until one of your players dies, and like, oh man, we lost that expensive piece of equipment on that last run. Guess we're gonna have to build up money to get it again. But the way the game works is you are given a number of preset locations, and they're the same every time. They're not randomized. They're not whatever. They are bespoke. This house, this cabin, this whatever. And in the location, there will be a randomized phantasm of some kind. And I got to be careful the word that I use, because phantasm means a thing, poltergeist means a thing, shade means a thing. There's all kinds of distinct ghost types.
What's the great game calling them? All of the above?
Yeah, so there's like banshees. There's the thing is that there are different kinds of ghosts, and each ghost, and I can't remember if ghost is one of, maybe ghost is one of the kinds of ghosts, but anyway, you get the idea. There is an otherworldly, netherworldly entity happening in this location. Confirmed. So you go there and it's definitely happening.
Yeah, so this isn't like a jump scare type of like the
not exactly
the amnesia game where you're like hiding from this like
it's
big
not
bad.
that. It's not that, but it can get to be that. So you get in there and you go in your truck, your special gang, ghost hunting gang truck,
and
Scooby-Doo gang.
Exactly. But except this is more like the FBI monitoring van or whatever, because you've got like computers in there. There's a live graph that shows the level of ghost activity. And so as the players, you can play with up to 4 people concurrently. You can play with a single person, and then you kind of have to figure out how you're going to deal with your gear. But you gear up in your truck with all of the stuff that you brought along from your Counter-Strike-esque accumulation. And that can include things like flashlights. That's pretty basic. But you can only carry like 2 things. So you can do a flashlight, and you might be relying on someone else to be your light source. You can bring ghost recorders. There's like called a ghost box or something. It's like a voice box. You can bring temperature thermometers, because sometimes a ghost might lower the temperature. But all of the ghosts that you're going in there to get, they do certain things. And it's almost like one of those logic puzzles, or like the back of a Microsoft product, right? Where one of them will do this checkbox, this checkbox, this checkbox, but not that checkbox. This one will do like low temperatures. It will only attack people who are by themselves. It makes the faucet water run dirty, and
so you're
whatever.
Diagnosing which sort of ghost.
Yes, that's exactly right. And as you are doing this, the ghost will be bothered by you. And the other thing is that you play this with your microphone, and the game will react. So when you go in your van, you know the name of the haunting ghost. You just don't know what kind of entity you're actually dealing with. So you can actually say the ghost's name, and if you do it a bunch, it like gets all upset, and it's it'll start to throw things. And then eventually it gets violent against you, and you can die. Like the ghost can actually just take you, and then so you have a sanity meter, I guess, which is what has to happen. Like the ghost, and the thing is, you don't get to see your own sanity meter, but somebody in the truck, if you leave someone behind, which leaves you at a disadvantage, because now you've got fewer people in
fewer hands to carry stuff.
Exactly, and you can't really see the ghost most of the time unless it goes into like hunting mode. And that's when if the person in the van looks at the graph, it's like up to 5 or 6 or 7. That's like the level of hostility, from this manifesting spirit or whatever. And so basically you're just trying to manage all of this. You're trying to get, so the way it works is you're there for one primary objective, which is to correctly, positively identify the kind of ghost. If you do that, you get good money. There are also secondary and tertiary goals, which is where you have taken specific measurements that support your hypothesis, basically. So if you correctly guess the ghost, correctly measure with either your measurement voice box, your temperature thermometer. You have an EKG meter, kind of a la the Ghostbusters, and you can, if it spikes above a certain level, certain ghost types only go above a certain level. But anyway, you have to write in a journal. So you open up your menu and you're like, okay, this is what I'm bringing back as my evidence. And everybody can bring different evidence if you have it, but there's only a limited number of things because the ghost type is set in the characteristics that it will manifest, basically. And that's basically the game. And there's like scary basements that you might go into and you can't see stuff. There might be noises that you start to hear. There's walkie-talkies, so you can talk within physical proximity, but then you can use walkie-talkies, but the walkie-talkies are susceptible to like ghostly activity. So if the ghost is like flipping out, the lights are going to start blinking, your walkie-talkies stop working. You can set up cameras, and the cameras have night vision versions and stuff, but the cameras go back to the guy in the van again. So you kind of just have to decide, like, are you going to bring everybody in and kind of fly blind a little bit and kind of look at the physical characteristics and things that are going on around you? Or are you going to leave somebody in the van to do some surveillance, and, you set down the camera so that they can watch this empty room in case, oh my gosh, it levels at an 8, everybody watch out, hide. You can actually hide in closets, and for some reason, ghosts don't check closets. So there are places that you can actually hide when the ghost goes hunting. Yeah, and the doors will lock, so you're stuck in there, and until things cool down. So it can get kind of intense, and it can get kind of scary. And then also, like, if you are talking, because again, you better be using the in-game voice. Like, once one of your players is taken by the ghost, it's like, oh my gosh, guys, and then like gone.
Oh, that's
and so yeah,
so it's for myself.
Right, exactly. So the thing is that it's one of those where the more you play it, it might get less. Like you kind of start dealing with, okay, I know what's going on here, and even when things are bad, you're like, okay, I'm going to get in the closet here, it'll be all right. But it is kind of intense, and from what I understand, actually, in the in the news wire of today, August 16th. They are actually coming up with some new add-on content for this. And I guess I don't know if they're going to be giving it free. I suspect that's with a game like this, you probably want to just be building in extra things. They're going to be doing new ghost types, new maps, things like that. And it's kind of just a fun little way to play a little bit of a logic game with kind of a supernatural, scary kind of bent to it. And it is kind of fun. And, and you kind of walking around like, can you hear me? Can you show us a sign? And all those kinds of things. And then like stuff might happen and you're like, okay, are we in the room with it? Are you here? And then you say its name and it'll like escalate and things will get, So it's just that kind of thing. So it's like, the systems and it's hard at first. I will say that at the beginning, it's kind of hard to know, like, all right, what am I doing here? Because you don't really know the ghost types. They'll tell you at the beginning some information, about like this ghost will respond to anybody. This ghost will respond to people only when they're alone or whatever. So they will sort of give you some things to kind of play with. But it is a little bit hard at first. I had to play 4 or 5 rounds before I started to feel really comfortable that I was following a good process of detectivizing these supernatural phenomena. But it was pretty good, and it's fairly inexpensive. I want to say it's $14-15. I'm sure it'll be on some.
I was looking at it on Steam a minute ago. It's like $12.9.
Yeah, and they'll probably do one of those like 4-pack things. So if you have some friends and you're looking for just something fun to do for a Friday night, Saturday night, everybody kick in and get a 4-pack or whatever if they sell it that way, and it is kind of fun. And get a Sherpa or somebody to kind of host you through it and kind of get you familiar with it. And then before long, once you kind of know what you're doing, once you're to the level where you're like, yeah, exactly, and then you're like, okay, guys, you stay here. I'm gonna go run back and get the thing because I know we need it right now. And everything is slow. Like the run in this game is like 10% greater than the walk or something. It's just like very, very deliberately paced, let's say. So there are some things to get used to it with respect to the mechanics, with respect to the controls, with respect to just the characteristics of gameplay. But Phasmophobia, I've seen people talking about it off and on, and had a chance to try it out. And honestly, I think it was like my 3rd or 4th time actually trying it, and it was only this time that I kind of understood what the thing was. So this is my gift to you, listeners.
What made you come back 2nd and 3rd time?
I had different friends who were playing it. So I was playing it
Okay.
with one partner once, and then I had some friends saying, "Hey, we got this game Phasmophobia. Have you heard of it?" And I'm like, "Actually, I own that. Yeah, I'm down to play." And so we went in and kind of this time actually figured it out, and so I bring my newfound knowledge to the rest of the world to tell you how this works, and to say that it actually is quite fun. And like I said, you play it, as a little party get together thing online with your online friends if you have to stay at home, and I think it's worth your time. So, Phasmophobia.
Cool. Sounds spoopy.
It is spoopy.
Mm.
Guys, we also have some new releases. Maybe I'll kick it over to Jared to take us through some of these. What's out this week?
Yeah, so we get our new releases from tech-gaming.com. Go check it out. The big headliners here are Hades, out now on PlayStation and Xbox. It was an early access. I was actually surprised by this. I thought it'd been out for a while, but nope. It was on early
Kind
access.
of. I mean, people were even beating the game.
I have it on my Switch for a while now. I
Oh,
think.
really? Yeah, I think it was available, but I think they were just saying like,
whatever.
it's available, but not complete or whatever.
It's out there. Great game if you're into that. Also
on Game Pass, by the way. It's one of the
there you
new
go.
editions.
All right.
I did not even know this was in development. I also have this on the Switch and or its predecessor and have not played it. Axiom Verge 2.
I love Axiom Verge. I am like the one guy.
And is
I will
this
go to
like a
bat.
direct sequel? Like I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah. Direct sequel and pretty direct homage to Super Metroid. I think it's got smart gameplay. Go back and listen. If you search Axiom Verge on GameByteShow.com, you can
You'll find it
my episode where
100
I talk
times.
about it. And
I do remember a lot
some
of Jeremy raving about Axiom Verge.
controversial statements made by me, and I continue.
I have the vinyl record of Axiom Verge.
It's real good.
Bet
All
it
of
is.
it made by one guy, Thomas Happ. Did the gameplay, the music,
Cool.
everything. Look up that guy's story. He's a really interesting and
Go
cool
look him
guy.
up. Go buy his games because
Buy his
support developers. Also, by a developer is another game called. Actually, I do know who. It's the same guys. These are the same guys that made the Endless Space game, right?
Yep, Amplitude.
Yeah, the Endless series. Humankind. So this is the Civ like game, right?
It's
Oh,
their
right.
take on what civilization is. Yeah.
Is yeah.
And,
so,
and I've heard that it is
that's not
less.
Endless
things.
Legend.
Exactly. But it's sort of more terrestrial. Like it plays around with earthly cultures and historical persons and things like that. From what I've heard, reviews have started to come out, and I've heard that it kind of the thing about civilization is you're almost always. I mean, maybe in Civ 6 now they've made it where you can credibly go after different kinds of victories. But I guess Humankind is sort of. It seems like they have just made it from the ground up to not. End up where you're just fighting and
you're just in a giant robot stomping across the earth.
Yeah, exactly, or whatever. So they've apparently done a good job of it.
The next one. Oh, go ahead.
I kept getting that game confused with Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey or whatever.
That one's different.
Very different thing.
That's like a survival game where you're like a prehistoric survival.
Yeah, like
isn't it?
apes, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I never played it. I have nothing about it. Something I do know a lot about is Age of Empires 2. Something I don't know a lot about is its definitive edition that just had a new DLC launch called Dawn of the Dukes. I think we already talked about this.
We might have brought it up. It's this week though.
So I'm not sure. Also, a DLC that just released worth mentioning is Assassin's Creed Valhalla Siege of Paris DLC is out now. So if you are a Valhalla fan, go grab that one. Something on Game Pass, yada yada, Hades, something. I don't know this list.
Yeah, actually, I think I put it. In fact, I didn't put it in the outline here, but I did put it in. Hold on, I think I've got it in our Discord here. Let me just pull this up real quick. They've actually got a really good spread, I think, on Game Pass this week or whatever. So Katamari Reroll is on there as well, cool. Which is basically just the remake of Katamari Damacy, just kind of for modern consoles or whatever. They also have Dodgeball Academia, which I think we talked about last week, and I was like, oh man, if it's a anime high school whatever I'm in, and maybe I am in. I don't know.
Maybe
I can try it for free on
Game
Pass. And then Luminous, some version of Luminous now is on Game Pass as well. So there's a few cool additions.
There you go. One thing I wanted to mention this week that we have not done in the past is games GeForce Now. Sorry, Thursdays, every Thursday, they put out new games on GeForce Now. So if you
Oh,
own
yeah.
these games, check them out on GeForce Now. Void Train is new and pretty cool from what I've heard. And also RimWorld is now on GeForce Now. So if you subscribe to that service, it might be worth checking out if you want to play that on GeForce Now.
I do.
Also out on the Epic Store, these are the free games, is Void Bastards and Ukulele. We say that's free, but I don't see that yet. Maybe it starts
it's coming up here in a couple of days, so it'll be this week.
Okay.
So as of right
Rebel
this
Galaxy
moment,
still?
It is.
Rebel
So if you're
Galaxy.
watching this on YouTube right now, until 10 a.m. August 19th, this is probably Central Time. That is like 3 days from now. Rebel Galaxy is free, which is a fantastic game. Go check it out. Great soundtrack.
with a great soundtrack. That's
so
right.
good.
Real good.
Red Switch PC game. No, we didn't update this. This is last week's.
I don't think there were any. There were a couple here on the
They were
weird
done.
release
Moving
list. Cat Milk. Cat.
Oh, there was some. Yeah, .cat. Stupid.
Did we talk about Death Trash?
Yeah. And
yeah,
people
last
love
week.
it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
apparently good.
I've heard nothing but good things about that game. It
Yeah.
seems like a pretty interesting RPG.
Huh.
What? So we blew it with our Rad Switch PC Game Titles.com.
Yeah, the
I mean,
title
it's
has nothing
rad.
to do with the quality of the game.
It's rad.
All we're doing is looking at how rad the title is.
That's true. That's true. Deals and
Death Trash, pretty
freebies.
rad.
I think these are new, so I'm going to read them. Nearly all the Jackbox games are $20 on the humblebundle.com
that
Jackbox
is a
party.
great deal. Jackbox games always good.
I actually might look that up because I don't own any of them.
Really? You should
no.
definitely do this.
Mortal Shell has a DLC called The Virtuous Cycle, which is free to keep for owners and new buyers. And Avengers Black Panther DLC is out tomorrow and free.
And I am a big apologist for Avengers. I think it's good.
Kind of thinking about checking that out sometime. We'll see.
Yeah, they had they might do it again. If they've done it once, they might do it again. But they did have a couple weeks ago sort of a free play period for Avengers. So you never know. It's MMO-ish, so there may be times.
I just want to know, can you if you pick your Thor or whoever, can you get like a different palette swaps of the costume and skins and such?
Oh, there's skins for days.
I imagine there would be. Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
seems like there probably would be.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, let's kick it on over to the newsy news. I'm going to start with this past week. Nintendo had their Indie World presentation, which is basically, I guess it's just another version of Direct, Nintendo Direct, except this one specifically
Indie Direct
focuses on their independent type of games. I am not seeing the word Nindies anywhere, which I'm happy about, and I'm now going to retire that word forever. Just wanted to highlight it.
So Bill Amin owned that, so he had left with him. No,
yeah, Reggie Fils-Aimé. So they had a couple things. Not only did they have games that are out now, including Axiom Verge 2, which was sort of surprise released during this event.
Yeah.
But also
no warning.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of hit, which is awesome. But also things that are kind of in development. So the first one that I've got here listed is Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, which is sort of a jet grind radio kind of thing. There have been a couple of these. There was a game called Hover a year or two ago that was similarly, I guess, jet set radio is back in the public consciousness, I suppose. But that one will come out in 2022. They announced that Loop Hero is coming to the Nintendo Switch, and we talked about that one a few weeks ago. I've also had a chance to play that. I really like it. Sort of an auto.
Yeah, people love that game.
Yeah, it's real good. And it has a real distinctive kind of look and feel, and it's just odd. It's just different from anything else. So that's coming also, I want to say, actually, I don't know when. Oh, this holiday season. So it's coming out this year. The new Shovel Knight game. So there were a few spin-offs, or at least a couple of spin-offs of Shovel Knight that I think were announced. This one is kind of I don't know what to make of this. It's not exactly a match 3 game, but it's sort of one of those where you have a play field where things drop with gravity and you like disappear them and get points somehow. So that's the Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon.
Shovel Knight is one of those games that I have played and gotten pretty far, and I'm like genuinely upset with myself that I never finished.
You got to do it. Shovel Knight is so good. Shovel Knight is
even
great.
named one of my blacksmith in UO Outlands. His title is Forge Knight because I was playing Shovel Knight at the time. So I was like, oh man,
that's
this is
good.
so good.
Yeah, drop that UO stuff. Play Shovel Knight.
Dude.
It's gonna have amiibo support, by the way, Dale. So
The problem with Shovel Knight is that
you have to be good.
Sometimes I just want it to be easy, and it's not always easy.
That's
hear
what I
you.
run into, and I'm like, oh, I got to restart the level, and I put it
Yeah.
down,
I
and I
hear
don't
you.
pick it up again.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't like punish you,
No,
but
it's not. If you really, it's a challenge.
yeah,
But a lot of times I'm like, I don't want a challenge.
I know. I understand.
If I'm on the Switch, I'm usually in bed, and challenge time is over.
For me, the challenge with the Switch in bed is just don't drop it on my face.
Staying awake.
Yeah. Tetris Effect connected. Tetris Effect, which is an excellent incarnation of Tetris from the folks over at Q Entertainment, I think it is. Not Mizuguchi. Which Miz is this one? Is it Tetsuya Mizuguchi?
Don't.
There's a
now that
Mizuguchi
you asked
involved.
me the question.
It like flies right out of your head. Anyway, so of Rez and I don't know what, Meteos, anyway, all of that stuff. Coming out on the Nintendo Switch, and it doesn't say here exactly when, but it'll include competitive and cooperative multiplayer, which is cool. And I hope they patch this back into other versions. I've got the PSVR version. And I don't know, I guess you could do cooperative that way too, but I kind of feel like they've been releasing like different feature sets with each new iteration of this, and it kind of bothers me a little bit. I wish they would give me that stuff too. Chucklefish, which I believe their last thing that they were known for was the
Stardew Valley.
No. Well, there's that too, but I was thinking, yeah. So they're famous for Stardew Valley, but also the game that's a little bit like Advance Wars, and the name is Wargroove. Thank you for Wargroove with Caesar the dog, the general dog that you can be. So they're doing a game that's called Eastward, which is kind of a I guess similar to Stardew Valley, sort of a rebuild society after a collapse or something like that, which is kind of cool. And then as far as games that are out now, Axiom Verge 2, and I guess a whole bunch of other things. So Boyfriend
Slime
Dungeon.
Rancher's on there. That looks...
Yeah.
Man, my kids love Slime Rancher.
My daughter really likes Slime Rancher, but I could never get her to show me how it worked. Necro Barista Final Pour. I don't know what that is, but you have my attention.
I think it's like a not graphic novel. Sorry, like a
like a visual novel.
Visual, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think.
Oh, yeah, because there was also like Valhalla, which was kind of a barista themed visual novel thing as well, where the gameplay element was you would mix the different ingredients into drinks and things. Garden Story and Islanders Console Edition. Oh, and also Curious Expedition 2, which I talked about the first game on this show, kind of a choose your own adventure.
It's a really cool concept for a game.
Around the world in 80 days kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's kind of neat. So anyway, that's what's going on over on the Nintendo Switch. Elsewhere in the news, kind of completely shifting gears, I thought this was kind of interesting. Twitch, which is always behind the 8 ball for something. Like someone is doing something on Twitch that is untoward, like always. Like there's something going on.
100% the same.
Yeah. And I guess the latest thing this week is gambling, like actual like slot machines and betting on things, which is kind of ironic.
Like recording them gambling,
themselves playing, yeah, just like all kinds of things, and even sharing like referral codes and things like that, which is also kind of like a little bit. I don't know. But here's kind of what I wanted to talk about a little bit with this. So what Twitch is doing to curb this right now is they are preventing streamers from sharing their referral codes or links to gambling websites, which puts them, I mean, I don't know if you're one Kevin Bacon step removed from money gambling. I think that could be a liability for you.
Yeah, no kidding. They're just redirecting users to the hot tub streams.
Yeah, yes, right, exactly. So here's kind of what I wanted to talk about, which is, and I don't know if you guys have any feelings about this one way or the other. Maybe this is landmine territory, but the stuff with, I mean, Jared, you're alluding to like hot tubs and scancy sort of like ASMR things and stuff like that is not explicit, but is kind of adjacent to things that, and Twitch themselves, I mean, the other side of this, so there's that, like that stuff is going on kind of all the time, and it gets views and it creates controversy, and it's the same Howard Stern of Twitch, that stuff kind of keeps happening, except that you've got, Twitch, which is a platform and a service that's owned by Amazon, and they're trying to like put the fires out and kind of try to keep themselves out
Stay
of,
legitimate.
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
try to not bring legislative authority down upon them. But then the other side of Twitch, which is interesting, is for the last 4 or 5 years, Twitch has also been trying to figure out, like, guys, what else are we going to do?
How do we
So
make more money?
they've added legitimate channels for things like
The
food.
shareholders want us to keep growing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got to keep doing something. But also there's sort of a, momentum thing that you kind of want to, if you're Twitch, I mean, Twitch kind of owns the space, and as a platform, what do you do? What do you do to make yourself attractive? What do you do when, there's competition like Mixer out there that might come and eat your lunch? So Twitch simultaneously is also trying to figure out, like, what can we do that is sort of new and cool for people to talk about and to participate in, like food, or like just hanging out, or creative. They have people. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. So it's like the streamers themselves kind of have, they're on camera. Like, honestly, you've got basically like a lot of loose cannons out there. Just kind of
It is
somebody.
Literally a entire platform of people that will do whatever they can to
They're exhibitionists.
get more views. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, it's so
And
strange.
furthermore, like, I don't know,
Every
and this
streamer.
maybe I shouldn't say this, but like, if somebody wanted to do a murder or something, like, what are you going to do? Like, they're live in front
Ban
of
them.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, all you can do is try and fix it afterward, and try and minimize things.
Maybe they have moderators that are
Do they?
watching that.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that part of this equation? I can't even tell
know.
you. So I kind of wondered if you guys had any feelings about this. I have some comments that I could make, but what do you feel as what is your sense of the lay of the land here? Is this something that Twitch is doing a good job moderating? Is this something that needs to be clamped down?
I'll go first. I never use Twitch, so I can't comment on having seen any of this, but I think it's something that just kind of comes with the territory. Anytime you are hosting let's call it a commons, any sort of space, whether it's online or offline or
Sure. Out in the world.
Certain things are going to pop up with human traffic, not human trafficking,
So to speak.
hopefully, but just with if you have a lot of people gathering, among the things that you're likely to have is gambling, right? And so you have to have that moderation. There has to be somebody either coming around to say, hey, don't do that here, or it's just going to happen, right? I mean, it's like porn is another thing. Like, if you don't actively discourage it, it's all of a sudden it's going to take over.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. Which I think is part of the, and I guess I can comment here, that part of the situation is that Twitch is a completely ungated platform. So anybody, including minors, including anybody, can pretty much just go and watch whatever's
but they're all
on offer.
13, Jeremy. You have to be 13.
That's right. I forgot.
Terms of service.
Take it all back. But that's the thing. And so Twitch is sort of in a position where I think they've also got to be careful about, sort of like the public indecency kinds of things, and at least being aware of community standards, because they don't make it a membership-based thing. They don't gate it in any way.
Yeah, I agree, because it's like you go to the webpage and you don't get hit with terms of service to enter it, right? You just load the webpage and it just starts playing a video, right? There's
They'll
nothing.
even pick something for you.
Yeah, it just starts playing something, and it's kind of, to me, it's like they could do whatever, I don't know about gambling, but like most of this could be fine, but they're constantly trying to fight this almost losing battle of, hey, we're legitimate, but like a form of entertainment that people can enjoy, and then you have this kind of stuff and you're like, oh,
right,
but maybe we're just kind of weird too. But
right. So do you guys generally, do you get the sense that Twitch is handling this sort of thing responsibly? Is there more oversight that's needed? I mean, I realize that you're not in a position of authority here, but
I don't honestly, I don't really know because it's like again on one end they seem like, oh, we don't want this, but at the other like, hey, look, our name's back in the news.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
it's like driving people back. It's like they want the views, and then people get upset. They're like, oh no, you're right. We don't want those views. So like, so I don't know.
It's hard. I think
they
they
always
are
seem
really like.
reactive in like a really weird way, and I don't know why. I
I
suspect
think I
money's
can
to
agree
blame.
with that. Yeah, I think I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like they are at least reactive when the public determines that there's a problem.
Yeah.
And I think
I
that
agree.
is one advantage, I think, of having something that's open like this is that it's I don't want to call it self-regulating, but it is self-monitoring. Maybe that might be maybe a good
Yeah.
way to say that. And so I do feel like Twitch has made pretty credible moves to try and deal with this stuff as best you can. And there's always going to be like, and of course, people who are determined to do those things will probably try and wiggle in and find like weird edge cases where it's like, well, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, I'm not, touching you. But I think that they've been fairly responsible, I think, in the way that they've handled some things. So I don't know. I will say that I'm a little bit outside also of all of this because I only hear about this stuff in the news after the fact. I don't actually find myself crawling around Twitch a lot. In fact, I think I'm using it a little less than maybe before too. It used to be a pretty pretty easy for me to kind of load up a stream of something and kind of watch it for an hour. But I'm not even really doing much of that these days. So
I almost never turn on Twitch. I'm gonna be honest. Like it's just even when I do,
I
too old
I'm
for
not
Twitch.
watching this. I just turn it off.
I completely and I'm interested. So here's the thing. I'm interested in my heart, but not not actually when when the chips are down though.
Interested in being interested, but I don't really want to watch it.
Yes, that's it. Because I let Evo. Evo was on for 2 weekends. Like I think this last weekend they just wrapped up Evo. And I'm always like I find it genuinely actually interesting when I watch it. And I even get like, hype or whatever. And this last year or so, I just have not.
I barely turned it on. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe we're just getting old.
That's
SGDQ,
pretty much it.
things like
I'm
that.
just distracted with other things that I care more about.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. So anyhow, so Twitch is out there fighting the good fight again for anti-gambling, which gambling. The other thing about gambling is, I mean, as a form of entertainment, can be quite problematic. I mean, we've heard in
you can lose a lot of money.
For a few reasons.
Should be obvious.
Yeah, exactly. That's definitely at least one of them. But addictive, it is somehow it is particularly addictive, which even like giving a drop of alcohol to an alcoholic, having somebody watch gambling can also potentially be a problem. So anyhow, guys, that's going to do it for our main event news, but we are still left with our final segment here, which is the news speed run. Start the music.
Pew, pew, pew. Grand Theft Auto remasters allegedly in the works for GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas.
Wow, what's taking so long? Well, public beta test of Diablo 2 Resurrected this week.
Yeah, that's another thing where you can actually. So they did this also with Back 4 Blood, where you could watch streamers and get drops to get access to these things.
Doing that stuff.
Yeah, so
I'll just wait. I'll play the release.
You mean I have to go to Twitch and watch someone in a hot tub? No thanks.
No. Listen, life is too short. I'll just play the game when it's released.
Yeah,
I don't have to bother with this.
I definitely am not. That's another thing I've fallen out of.
Speaking of that, Guild Wars 2 is having a beta for some of its expansion content like this weekend, and I'm like, I don't have the energy to like be like, oh, this doesn't seem balanced. Anyway,
exactly. Idris Elba, actor of potential James Bond fame. He was in The Wire
2.
Pacific. He was in Pacific Rim 1.
Pacific Rim 1.
Pacific Rim 1. Oh yeah, he died. Sorry, spoilers. He's dead. He will now.
Idris Elba. Idris Elba's still alive.
Is it? Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's a good thing he's alive because he will be voicing the character of Knuckles, Knuckles the Echidna in Sonic the Hedgehog the movie Part 2, which is probably good. Like I'll watch Sonic the Hedgehog the movie too. Thank you, Idris Elba.
What is also I guess, sort of good is Free Guy does okay in the box office.
That's not a good sign. I don't.
I've actually
that's
never even heard of
that's one of
this.
the
I don't even
heralds
know
of the
what this
apocalypse.
is.
Really? This is the Ryan Reynolds movie. So this is the one where it's like he's like this AI like NPC that somehow becomes sort of like
He like lives in
awakens to the-
GTA basically.
No, I have no
yeah,
idea.
something
No.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Anyway, and so he
Well,
Next.
finds love.
Valve has patched a wallet exploit that allowed for infinite wallet funds on Steam, which it would have been cool to see that. I
Gosh,
think
I wish I'd known about that.
you
It
could
kind
own
of would
it
have been cool. They
in-
gave
on
the guy who
Steam.
found it $7,500 as a bounty for finding it as well.
Nice.
Nice.
I mentioned Back 4 Blood. One of the things that people liked about Left 4 Dead was the versus campaign where you could have regular players going through the full game and then have other people as the infected playing against them. Back 4 Blood does not plan on doing anything like that. So it's decided to cut some of the cruft, and that's falling by the wayside.
That kind of stinks because I always thought that was one of Left 4 Dead's best features. But all these games like this, skip it. Like, is it hard?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's hard to balance. I'm not sure. But speaking of hard to balance, on your nose, a Nintendo ROM hack website guy pays $50 in perpetuity to Nintendo. Isn't allowed to play ROMs anymore.
Wait, what does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
$50?
Well,
Like
it's not
$50?
so much in perpetuity. Yeah, here's the thing. The
Well,
guy
that's what you wrote.
has. I know. Well, I also added the link. You could take a look at it. But I know. So the guy has. This is the ROM universe guy that we've talked about on this show before, and the hammer has come down on him. The court's found against him. They have ordered him to pay $2,100,000 in damages, but it is being done by $50 monthly
Increments.
payments. Yeah, so basically until he dies. In addition to making those payments, he also has to destroy all of the ROMs, and he is not allowed to play any ROMs.
Got him.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Well, Alan Wake 2 is in full production.
What?
Yeah. The
Alan
the-
Wake.
Can you even like buy the first games anymore? They like came.
they brought it back.
Okay.
They did. They brought
Oh,
it back.
had they disappeared for a while?
They did, yeah, because of music licensing, but they must have sorted that out.
Right,
Yeah, because there was some licensed music in the game. But Remedy has said that they have been working on something in the Remedy verse or whatever it is, the Remedy cinematic universe, because Control and Alan Wake and
Alan
Max
Wake is one
Payne.
of those like aspirational games that I want to play that someday.
Like you want to have played it rather than
Yeah,
to actually
at some point.
You want to
I've
play
played
it.
Max Payne, so next I just need to play Max Payne 2, I guess, and then Alan Wake.
I'm about 3/5 of the way through Alan Wake. I kind of fell off of it, but I was playing it actually recently.
So speaking of people who aspired to play a game that is a million years old, it turns out Half-Life 2 had its highest number of concurrent players since records began.
Why? How?
Why?
What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
Because they decided that it was sort of an artificial thing where folks decided that it was an event called Breaking the Bar. The Half-Life community decided that they wanted to do it to at least log in and play it, and they hit a peak of 16,101 concurrent players with about 8,600 viewers on Twitch as well. Stranger Things content is going to be leaving Dead by Daylight, which I was actually playing I had no idea this was coming. Played this with my daughter for her birthday. It's one of her games. I got her the Dead by Daylight soundtrack on vinyl, so we were playing through it.
Really?
And we like Stranger Things in this household, but Stranger Things is going away come November. If you have bought the Stranger Things content, you can keep it, but the Stranger Things level, which is the Hawkins Laboratory, will no longer be playable, at least for the foreseeable future, after November. Instead, Hellraiser is coming in. And I think Dead by Daylight, I don't know if you guys have ever tried Dead by Daylight, but they have done a pretty good job bringing in like different licensed things to be like, oh, now it's Pyramid Head is going to chase you, or now, whatever, the Demogorgon from
Now it's a
Stranger Things.
Teletubby.
Well, Final Fantasy
Barney.
XIV Shadowbringers soundtrack is up on Spotify.
Nice.
Okay,
That was a Legrand one. He didn't even show up for it.
This one's got me chuckling. Esports commentators are no longer saying McCree's name due to Blizzard lawsuit. So they're just referring to him now as the Cowboys. It's this.
What about all the other characters in that game?
Well, the thing is that this
guy
particular
is named
character
after
is
someone.
named after somebody who has been impugned in this lawsuit.
Somebody
So,
called McCree?
yeah, Jesse McCree
Yeah,
is the guy's
really?
name, and so now they're just, I guess, deciding to really make a statement. So
The
kind of interesting. I
Cowboy.
thought that was kind of funny. Yeah.
Oh, well, Firaxis is hiring a narrative lead with a passion for world history. So This is according to a job listing. So you could probably guess it's related to Civilization something or other. When did Civ 6 come out? How many years
I
has
think
it
it's
been?
older than you think.
Wow.
I think it's a
Yeah.
couple years old now.
Yeah,
think
I mean,
that's
I
right.
only played it recently, and I knew going into playing it, I was like, this game's already been out for a long time.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you exactly how long.
No, it's sort of always been there. It's
But
Civilization.
when they start, if they're hiring somebody for like a Civ 7, you got to figure it's like it's still probably 3 years out or something,
Oh
right?
yeah, we're gonna get at least another couple major expansions for Civ 6, I'm sure.
Probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
Last news item on the speed run that I've got here I thought was kind of quirky. There's a fishing simulator called Fishing North Atlantic. And, for those of you out there who are doing fishing games, this may be your chance to get in on the scallop craze because the Fishing North Atlantic Scallops DLC, an add-on devoted entirely to scallops, has been released, which you can pay.
I love it.
You'll have to shell out $14.
Shell
in
out.
order to
See
in order
you
to
at the
get-
dock
Oh,
marina.
Ooh.
check out these muscles. No, I don't know. Only that's expanded content for YouTube.
All of these
folks-
jokes are crab.
They have no porpoise. Now we're getting into other sea denizens.
Man,
Folks.
IT just I don't get it now. All right, that's enough.
Folks, that is going to do it for this episode of your Game Bytes Show podcast. Thank you so much for being here with us for the news and the new releases and the games that we've been playing and all of those things. If you've got any comments, if you want to let us know the games that you've been playing this week, you can let us know all about that. Find us on social media. Comments on this video. We haven't talked about that, but you can leave a comment on this video if you're watching it after the fact. Thank you for watching us in our canned and on-demand form. Let us know what you think of the show. If you have any
demand.
canned and on demand,
Like tuna.
and you can just like tuna. Unsustainable, all of this. But you can find us on social media. Also, we are on Twitter collectively at Game Bytes Show. If you have any comments for us individually or just want to reach out and make friends with Jared specifically. He wants your friendship. He's still playing UO. Clearly, it's a cry for help. You can find us individually. I am at Jeremy_Lamont.
I am at Count Elmdor.
I'm at red_I.
Fourth man and typical host, Legrand Jolly, is at Legrand, Legrande. You can also find us here at youtube.com/GameBytes where we might be streaming stuff. I mean, sometimes we have some videos going up. Jared's got some
I
things.
stream some stuff here and
Jared
there.
does all sorts of
Maybe
stuff.
I'll stream some The Ascent at some point. That game's pretty cool.
I actually would like to see it because I haven't actually tried playing it on Game Pass. But when you guys were talking about how beautiful it looked, I want to see this beautiful, boring.
Pretty
corridor.
good with a lot of running.
Yeah, a lot of running. And in fact, if you don't know what we're talking about, check out the archives of our syndicated podcast. You can find that over at GameBytesShow.com. Click on the link for the RSS, subscribe there, and you get a special version with all the bells and whistles, all the little musical notes and things like that. Intro and outro music for free, $0. Our DLC, always fish-based, always free. Free for you.
Free of dolphins.
Because with fronds like these, who needs anemones?
Dolphin free.
With brands like these?
Dolphin free tune in to this podcast.
There you go. See, Dale should be doing this. Dale, I need to let you do the outros from now on. But folks, we'll be back next week to tell you about all the games that we've been playing, news of the week, and just lots of good stuff. We want to entertain you and edify you. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, come join us on our Discord over at GameBytesShow.com. You can find a link to join us on a day-to-day basis. If this is not enough for you, if you need more, we're available in small but frequent doses over at Discord. So
It's the best Discord in the inner tubes, honestly.
Kind of is. Cannot deny it. It is confirmed. But folks, we'll be back before too long next week. Until then, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Be seeing you.
Bye.
Thank you, YouTube, for being there.
Yep.
Jared.
Fran is signing off. All right.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're done.
Very good.